Hello, it's Stephanie here again, and it's the fourth episode of Ask the Angels, where we answer your rent to rent questions. And I was going to say we're going live. We're not live, we're recorded in the HMO Heroes Facebook group. So if you don't know about the HMO Heroes Facebook group and you're interested in HMO property investment, whether you're a newbie or an experienced investor, we'd love to see you over at our Facebook group for property information, inspiration, motivation, and to carry on the conversation. So tonight's show is a good one. We've had so much controversy in the group this week because a rent-to-rent deal has been posted in the group, and I jumped on it and said these figures are a load of rubbish. They're actually misleading. I think it was £900 profit that they said that this deal was generating, and also they said you could have it managed by an agent and just be making just over £600 a month in profit. And again, I think these are terribly misleading and could lead people to losing money. So what I've done is I've actually put together an actual spreadsheet to show you the simple one step that you can do to suss out any deal and make sure that it works for you. It's the way not to get ripped off. And I'm going to tell you as well how to download this spreadsheet and use it for yourself. So without any further ado, let's switch over to the spreadsheet now, and I can just show you what I mean. So here we are in the spreadsheet, and I'm just going to walk you through how we use this spreadsheet. Now, if you do want to get this spreadsheet, I will explain how to get this spreadsheet as well and use it for your own deals, because this is the one step and it's so easy. And if everyone did this, nobody would have these bad deal problems. So you just got the property address. This is a 5-bedroom property. It's 36 months. And so the first thing we do is I've put in here 4 rooms at 423 and 1 room at 300. Now, in the original deal that came out, this had been suggested that it was £440 per room and 320, and that was actually too much for the area, so that's been reduced down, as you can see there. If you are based in Coventry, let me know if you think that is a realistic figure for the rental income for these rooms. In the side of the video, I've put a link to the original deal and to the new deal so that you can see the state of the property, and that'll give you a chance to decide if you think the rental income is appropriate. So I'll be interested to hear from anyone in Coventry what you think. So that's the income side of things goes into this quadrant, and you can see the yearly income, the monthly income, and the 3 years income is £71,000. So moving down, we have got the sourcing fee of £4,000. So we've got that in there. We've got the deposit paid to the owner just here. The guaranteed rent, oh dear, my startup disk is almost full. The guaranteed rent to the owner there, £900. And the investment in refurbishment that they said you'd need. And the total of the cost of sales there, £41,000. And you can see there's a gross profit of £30,000, but that's before we get all the monthly operating expenses. So the figure quoted in the original deal actually was realistic for the bills, but that was just for council tax, electricity, gas, water, and Wi-Fi. Okay, so you need to always remember to add in these additional lines if you do these. Now, we do have a cleaner, a fortnightly cleaner, and we pay £12 an hour for between 1.5 to 2 hours per property every fortnight, and that is £52 per month. But in this deal, I thought you might cut your cloth a bit tighter and say you have a cleaner, once a month. And then I've split out the bills from the numbers given. These are realistic and they fit in with the numbers that we have. Now, management fees. This is an interesting one. I don't really believe in using an agent to run your R2R unless you have an exceptional relationship with that agent and you understand them, because what happens when you use an agent is you are taken on a 3, 4, 5-year commitment to pay somebody, and you can only do that if your agent performs optimally. And that is rarely the case, especially over a longer time period. So unless you're managing it yourself through a property manager and a system and you have control, you need to have control. When you make those commitments to pay on a guaranteed basis, you need to make sure that you have the control over the moving parts. So where I really raise an eyebrow, well, I'm raising both eyebrows, is when people are selling a deal and they say that there's an agent in this deal and the agent can manage it for you, because you know that in that scenario the voids are always going to be higher and the deal is always going to be less profitable, and you're losing a big chunk of income in addition to the sourcing fee. So here we've got the management fees in at 10%. Now, typically, the management fees are going to be 10% plus VAT, plus tenant fine, plus percentages on the maintenance. So in actual reality, those fees are not 10%, they're 15%. So I'm just going to add that in there. This is where you've got an agent managing it. Minor maintenance, I've put that at 2%. But when we're forecasting a deal, we always put in there 3%, okay, 3%. I'm going to go there because we need that margin within the deal to know absolutely that it's going to work. And then we've got the TV license there at £13. The voids, minimum put in there 3%, especially if you're new to rent, if you don't know the area and so on. The more you know, the lower you can put that number. We always put our voids at 3% for forecasts, and our voids are typically between 0 and 1%. We've got the water bills there at 50 and the Wi-Fi there at 38. So you can see that with the total operating cost there, £755 per month. So the operating cost and the guaranteed rent as a percentage of the rental income, 83%. That's a lot. So the net monthly cash flow there is it's a measly £80, and the annual is less than £1,000 a year, which is crazy. And then I do the figures. When Nicky first showed me this, I said, I don't believe we need all of that in for management, maintenance and voids. And she was putting in 9%, 3% in each on all our forecasts so that we would be safe, whatever the situation. And I says, well, we need to have a line on the spreadsheet without those so that we know that between this after all costs and this, if we manage the maintenance, management and voids, we should be able to achieve a figure somewhere in the middle. Now this one's much higher. There's a much bigger gap here than we would usually have because actually we're using an agent and the agency fees are high. It's 10% plus VAT, plus there are other fees that are wrapped up in there, the tenancy fine fees and other fees, which really rack up on an HMO. And then you've got your net monthly cash flow, just excluding the refurb. So the figures look really paltry, and this is to bear in mind when you're looking at a deal. But to be fair here, I just want to highlight that actually if you manage it yourself, so what I'm going to do here now is put the management fees to 1%, so it's just £20 a month. That's just to cover the cost of managing a property. Even when you're self-managing, there are costs. Now, we normally forecast that at 3% for every property, but let's be kind here and say it's £20 a month. Okay. Then you get a cash flow of 359. Now, actually, 359 cash flow every month might be really attractive to someone. And if you think you've actually got capacity to earn between 359 and 591 each month, depending on how you manage the management, maintenance and voids. So actually that could be a fantastically attractive deal for someone. Now, so what I'm not objecting to the fact that this deal is 359 cash flow. What I'm objecting to is that it's being sold at £900 cash flow. So it needs to be sold as what it is. And also, I just want to say a shout out to De Quincy, Caramel Prescott, a great guy, and thank you for taking this in good part. De Quincy is the name of the sourcer who was sourcing this deal in good faith, but I just got annoyed because it was just yet another in a long line of rent-to-rent deals where all the numbers weren't in the deal. Now we all make mistakes there, including me, as you know from my many aborted Facebook lives. So what I love about De Quincy is that he's now rewritten the deal and it comes in more closer to these figures. It comes in between this 359 and 591, which I put here. Okay, so it's not that it's a bad deal. This process tonight was really just to show you how to do it yourself, because people come to me all the time and say, Stephanie, how do we assess a deal? Is this a good deal? Is this a bad deal? And it's as simple as this to work it out. So you might be thinking, where can I get this deal analysis spreadsheet? Great question. So here we have the deal analysis spreadsheet video, which explains exactly how to use it. I mean, it's quite self-explanatory, but you might want to watch the video. The link to that is below. And right underneath the video is a link to download your own deal analysis spreadsheet, and I really suggest that you do that before you buy any deals. If you've enjoyed this video, you might also like our other, oh dear, our other Ask the Angels videos, and they are also in a link below. And also we've got our super popular 5 simple steps to finding your rent deal video also below. And if you want to be in control of getting your first deal, you want to attract the deals to you using magnetic marketing, you might be interested in our new course, which is coming next year, which is called, surprisingly, Get Your First Deal. And there's a link to that below. And we'll have a very small group of people go through the first time. And I will be working with them week by week, going through the course module by module to get your first deal. All the tips and tricks and templates and contracts and everything you need to get your first deal. So let me know what you think of that. I'd love to know what you think of the figures that we've used in that example. Are they the same figures you would use? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. And I will see you guys again next week. If you have a rent-to-rent question that you'd love to ask on Ask the Angels, just pop it in the comments.